Yeah.
Boker Tov, Chavirim. Masechet Pesachim, Amud Yomi, Chaf Dalid. Okay, what are we discussing? We are discussing the halakha that chametz on Pesach is not only asur to eat, it's asur to benefit. You have milk and cheese in your house? Are you allowed to have? You can't eat a bug. Can you own a bug? You can own a bug. You can't eat a sheretz. Can you own a sheretz? Can you take bugs and make some liquid with it to paint your ceiling? You can do it.
Yeah.
No problem. Can you do the same thing with pork? No problem. Can you do the same thing with non-kosher food? Yeah. There's a few things that you can have benefit. One of them is chametz on Pesach. Chametz on Pesach, you're not allowed to have benefit. Second thing you can have benefit is shor haniskan. An animal, a bull that killed a person, you got to kill the animal. And when you kill the animal, you cannot benefit from even the leather or the veins. The animal is put in the garbage. Burn the animal.
You cannot benefit of it?
No. There is isur achila, isur ana. There's some prohibitions of Torah you can't eat and some you can't benefit. Sell it. Can you sell pork? You got now a goy. He owed you $10,000. He came and he gave you pork, like a beef jerky pork.
To resell?
No, he gave it to you. I owe you 10,000. I have money. I'll give you this. Take it. So you call Rabbi. I can't take it. Take it. What do you do? I can't eat it. Sell it. Put it on Amazon. Sell it. Right? No problem. But the certain things. Why? But chametz on Pesach.
That's what we can do?
Yes, you can. Chametz, you can't own and you can't sell. Even though the Torah says lo tochlu.
On Pesach only, right? So, but if I use a chametz product on Pesach,
It's not called chametz. Once the deodorant,
okay.
even though there's alcohol in it, it's not called chametz.
Right. Okay.
Chametz is edible food. The same thing with the shor haniskan.
It's
Shor haniskan. Shimon owns a bull. The bull went crazy, it killed 10 people. What do? We kill the bull. What do we do with the bull? Okay, I kill the bull. It's not danger anymore. I'm going to make shoes with it. I'm going to make a bag with it. Make a leather jacket with it. Asur. Nothing. In the garbage. Why? Why is that? We want to know why. We found a few opinions, and now there's different opinions.
Let's say, for the bull example, just on the betting dash, while the guy get bitten. Right now we could do it?
No. Oh, well listen, today you don't have a Beit Din to kill the animals. No Beit Din is judging these cases and killing the animals. So there's no more shalom. It doesn't exist right now.
Not even in Israel. If you're a farmer, you have bulls.
See, it seems to me all things are putting to death and killing has to be a real official Beit Din. I don't think today they have the authorities to do it. I can't remember. It could be that they're able to kill it. They can't do a knas. Baba Khan, I can't remember. Huh? Exactly. Now, why is this true? Because we're going to see now an opinion that says whenever we say lo tochal, it also means don't benefit. It also means unless the Torah gives heteri. We're going to see. Actually, that's what we said yesterday. We're going to go to a new opinion right now. So how do we know that whenever it says lo tochal, how do we know this? How do we know that whenever it says lo tochal, it also means don't benefit?
But there's two opinions.
Yeah, and we finished those opinions. Okay. We're going to a new one right now.
So
Okay? And the first one we said yesterday was Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. It's a Talmud. We're on Chav Gimel Amud Bet at the bottom. I'm just repeating what I said. A Talmud of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. You guys with me? And you got to get the psukim well. He told in front of, a Talmud of Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani. He said over a teaching of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi is a Tana. Okay? And he says like this. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi is a Tana? Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi? It's not written there.
It's not there.
Okay. So there is halakha which we discussed yesterday. It is a chatat. A chatat needs to be shechted, at least the regular chatat, outside of the chan. In the azara. Don't go in the building of the Beit HaMikdash. You're in the courtyard, you can't go in. If you bring the blood inside, you just made pasul your whole korban. What is the halakha with that korban you got to do? You got to burn it. Don't eat it and burn it. So far so good? The Gemara said that is not needed. That pasuk is not needed. And the reason it's not needed because Moshe Rabbeinu in the Miluim on the 8th day of the inaugurations of the Beit HaMikdash, which there was. Is it Amora? Chazak. Rabbi Shimon ben Levi is Amora. When there was 8 days of when there was how many days of inauguration? There was 12 days of inauguration of the Beit HaMikdash. On the 8th day, Nachshon ben Nadav, what happened is they brought the Chatat and they did it good, but they burnt it. And Moshe Rabbeinu was upset. And from here he forgot halachot. Moshe Rabbeinu forgot halachot of Giulei Kelim. Based on this, Moshe Rabbeinu katsof darash. Moshe Rabbeinu was upset. Vayiksof alei Elazar v'Itamar. He got mad at the Kohanim and told them, "Why did you burn it? You should have eaten it. You didn't bring the blood inside. So since we already have the pasuk that says, if you bring it inside the kodesh in the echad, you got to burn it. So why is the pasuk saying another time that you got to burn it?
How could Moshe Rabbeinu forget? That's why.
Moshe Rabbeinu didn't forget.
He did forget.
Oh, later.
Yes. How could he forget?
Yes, because everything is you're connected. So you're just getting ruach hakodesh. Anger, you cut. If you the worst thing is anger. Anger is one step under below craziness. Because anger, you're not controlling on your mind. Don't you know that it's not going to work to get angry at him? The results is going to be wrong. I don't care. That means it's like a guy is a little bit crazy. He's losing it. The best is when you're angry, take a cup of water, leave it here, and don't do nothing. Or if you want to get angry, you have to change. There was a tzaddik, he had a suit in his closet. If I got to get angry, I have to change my suit. So the time that he changes the suit, so he's already calmed down.
How does he remember at the moment that he has to change his suit?
He made a neder, a neder. There was one tzaddik. Huh?
The box used to say is anger in the box.
Pour pas Vikas?
Parce qu'il a été mécabé à tout le monde
Okay, we have a lot what to do, guys. Okay, we can't get late on this. Okay, so let's read those two psukim together to make sure we understand everything, because today we're in psukim. Please look on your Torah Ora Shalem and Chav Gimel Amud Bet, and here's what the pasuk says.
We're on the page.
Yes, we're on. Look in, please. Hey, Chav Gimel Amud Bet. Look at pasuk Hey. John, we're just starting. Look at pasuk Hey. Really. Look at pasuk Hey. Kol chatat asher yuva midama ela oel moed lekaper bakodesh lo te'achel. Any chatat that you bring the blood inside, I really want you guys to see the psukim. If you bring the blood inside, God, you with me? I need somebody with me. If you bring the blood inside the echal, lo tekaper. It doesn't work anymore. The chatat bakodesh lo te'achel. Lo lekaper bakodesh lo te'achel. You can't eat it. Ba'esh tisaref. You can't eat it. Burn it. Okay. The next pasuk says Vav, but it's actually in two parts. Madua. I'm skipping to the middle. Madua lo achatem et hachatat b'mkom hakodesh, ki kodesh kodeshim hu. Ve'otam naten lechem לשאת עוון מישראל. והן לא הובא דמה אל הקודש פנימה. אכל תאכל אותה בקודש כאשר ציוויתי. Why didn't you eat it? You didn't bring the blood inside the echad, so therefore you should have eaten it. So the Gemara says over here, so if this pasuk that we just read now, that כל החטאת אשר יובא מדמה לאוהל מועד, יכפר בקודש, לא תאכל, באש תשרף, it's not needed to teach that you can't eat it. It's not needed to teach on itself, because that we already know from Moshe Rabbeinu. Yes? So what is it needed for? We said yesterday, the Gemara says, okay, so if you don't need it for a chatat, teach it to all the other surim of the Torah. And the rule, the way that this goes, is if you have a redundant pasuk, a superfluous pasuk, a pasuk which is not needed to teach any halakha itself, which is the chatat, so you're actually allowed to transport it and use it for all the other surim of the Torah. So teach them that you can't eat them. It says lo tochal, don't eat this chatat, don't eat it. Okay, so now, but we know we can't eat it because we got to burn it. If Moshe Rabbeinu said you burn it, obviously you can't eat it. So it must mean don't eat different things. What? All the other isurim of the Torah. But all the other isurim of the Torah, which talks about don't eating, it already says don't eat. So it can't be don't eat. So if we don't need it for not eating it, use it for benefit. You can't benefit. Because the Gemara asked the question, okay, that's understand. But now we should not benefit it the way that this chatat is not benefiting, and we got to burn it. So we should burn all of those. And the Gemara says we ended up with a pasuk that says no, burning it bakodesh be'esh tisaref. Bakadeh, I'm in the fourth line of Chavdalim. Bakodesh b'srifa, bakodesh b'srifa, b'konisin shebatura b'srifa. So that's what we just learned. So now this pasuk says bakodesh tisaref only kodshim need to be burnt. Anything that's not kodshim doesn't need to be burnt. So if we just sum this up, what did this Tana say, this Amora, this student say in front of Rabbi Shimon ben Nachmani? He said in the name of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, that Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi learns that all the times where it's written lo tochal in Torah means don't have benefit, except if the Torah gives permission. So we'll have 7 or 8 places where it says don't eat, don't eat, don't eat, don't eat. 5 or 7, 6 of them will say, yeah, don't eat, but you can have benefit. If it doesn't say you can have benefit, so then we're just left back to lo tochen, and the lochen will mean you can have benefit. What are those? The Daletz Chametz b'Pesach and Shalom Miskam. How does he learn that lo tochen means it? He learns it from the Chatat. The Chatat says if you brought the blood inside the Beit Mikdash, you made a mistake. You should have left it in the Azara. You can't eat it, burn it. Why are you saying can't eat it? Moshe Rabbeinu already said burn it. So obviously I can't eat it. So if they're not eating it they're not eating it, lo tochan is not for this, because we know we can't eat the chatat. Use it for all the other isurim of the Torah. But all the other isurim of the Torah, it says don't eat. We already know you can't eat it, so it must be hana'ah. If it's hana'ah, so it must be, so you can't have hana'ah. You gotta not use it, benefit. So burn it, like it says from the source you're learning from. No, then it says bakodesh tisaref, bakodesh ba'es tisaref. If it's kodesh, you burn it. If it's not kodesh, you don't burn it. So far, so good. That's what we said yesterday. Very quickly.
What is kodesh?
Kodesh is kodshim, korbanos, things inside the Beit Mikdash. Things that are sanctified.
Those you burn, the rest?
Those you burn. If it's chametz, it's not kodesh. Chametz doesn't need to be, it's not nothing to do with the Beit Mikdash. Kodesh is something that should have been a korban, ends up not being a korban. You got to burn it. We're going to see also it's, for example.
Learned also that if it's not kodesh, then you can have it now.
No, because we just said the achila is teaching you the fact that you don't say there's no achila in the chatat. You don't need it for the chatat, so it's for all the other surim. All the surim already says don't eat it. So it must be we're adding something else, which is hana'ah. So you can't have hana'ah, so you're going to throw it in the garbage, so burn it. No, bakodesh tisaref. That's what we said yesterday. But the Gemara doesn't like that. You with me, Chaim? Okay, the Gemara doesn't like that. Why? The Gemara says, so now we're on the 4th line or 5th line of Chav Daled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the middle. The third word. V'hai bakodesh ves tisaref le'achidata. Is that pasuk of the chatat coming for that purpose? That's not coming for that purpose. We already used it for something else. ועמי בעירי כתני רבי שמעון, דתני רבי שמעון אומר בקודש ושתשרף, לימד על חטאת ששורפין אותה בקודש. בקודש תשרף, the question is where do you burn it? Moshe Rabbeinu said burn it. Why did you burn it? You should have eaten it. Mashma, you need to burn it. But he didn't say where you burn it. You might have thought you got to get it outside the Beit Mikdash, don't even burn it over here. So Rabbi Shimon said that we use it for bakodesh tisaref, burn it in the Beit Mikdash. So you're not using it to exclude all the other things that are subhana that you can have benefit from, that you're not allowed to burn, that you don't need to burn them and only need to burn kodshim. No, this is teaching that you're allowed to burn it inside the Beit Mikdash. And now I only know that the chatat I need to burn it. Psurei kodesh kodeshim emurei kodeshim kalim minai. Now here it's saying that here we're only talking about the chatat. How do I know that everything that's kodesh, all the things that are korbanot that need to be inside the Beit Mikdash, I need to burn, even the limbs that became tameh? It says kol bakodesh. If you look at the whole pasuk, it has an extra word. On my Torah or Chav Daled Amud Aleph, the first pasuk is v'kol chatat asher yuva midamarko. It says v'kol chatat. What is that word v'kol chatat? The first word v'kol over there, the pasuk doesn't need to be there. It could be there without that. You could have understood chatat asher yuva nama. Why does it say v'kol chatat? To teach you all the kodshim are allowed to be burnt in the Beit Mikdash. Now we have a problem. What we just learned is, yes, everything else is asur b'ana, but maybe everything should be burnt. So we say, no, it doesn't need burnt, because it says, kol b'kodesh, only kodesh is burnt. No, that's not what we use that pasuk for. We already know that pasuk is saying that when you're burning the kodshim, that it became tameh, where do you burn them? Inside the Beit Mikdash. So how do you know that all the chametz, you don't burn it, and for the shola niskar, that you don't burn it? So the Gemara says, Amar le Rabbi Yochanan. So the Talmud answered, okay, you're right. So I'm going to answer you a whole nother way. Rabbi Yochanan Rabach, because Rabbi Shua ben Levi is a Talmud of Rabbi Yochanan the Amora. So the Talmud that was saying in front, I'm sorry, my mistake. The Talmud that was saying in front of Rabbi Shimon ben Nachmani, he was saying the name of Rabbi Shua ben Levi. We just said that doesn't make sense. We just stumped him up. So he says, okay, your Rebbe, Rabbi Yochanan, had a different pshat. Let me tell you his pshat. It's a Talmud. You see, it's not so clear. The Talmud is sort of mixing things up. And he's saying like this. Another pasuk. It's talking about notar. V'im yutar mi basar minuim menanechem ad haboker. Let's read pasuk bet together. We're speaking about the miduim. Vim yivater mibasar miduim min alechem ad haboker. If you leave over the meat of the miduim or the bread ad haboker, v'sarafta et hanotar ba'esh. You burn the notar ba'esh. Lo yachen ki kodeshu. Interesting. Lo yachen. Don't eat it. Ki kodeshu. What are we talking about? We're talking about the miduim. The same miduim. There was a halakha of notar. You know that every day we brought meat and we brought certain.
What's Minuim?
Miduim was the 8 days when we inaugurated the Beit Mikdash. In Parshat Shmini, for 8 days. Parshat Shmini or Naso? I think in Parshat Naso. In Parshat Naso, B'Yom HaShmini. That was, sorry. But Parshat Naso was where we inaugurated the Beit Mikdash 12 days. Every day, each Nasi is bringing a korban. He's bringing meats and he's also bringing like matzot. He's bringing basically bread. You can eat it the same day. You can't leave it over to the next day. So here the pasuk says, "V'im yoter mi b'sar minim alechem ad haboker, shen tamunumar lo yochan, matumunumar yo lochan." We don't need to say lo yochan because it says ba'esh tisaref. The pasuk says, what did we just read? If you're in the minuim and you leave it over the next day, lo yachen, don't eat it. Ki kodeshu. You just told me, but. Burn it, don't eat it. Why are you saying don't eat it? If you have to burn it, obviously you can't eat it. So why in that pasuk says you can't eat it? So the Gemara says, if here it says don't eat, that don't eat must be going, we're using it for all the other places in the Torah, which is all the other places which says don't eat, chametz and shoran iska. And if it's not needed for its own purpose of not eating, if it's not needed for eating, we'll teach it for burning. I'll teach it for ana. Why is it not needed for eating? Because we know that you can't eat chametz. So the extra pasuk is going to come to teach us on getting away with it from hana'ah. So if here we're burning it, so all the other places, the notar, you got to burn it as well. So the notar we burn, and not everything else we burn. What did we just say? You with me, God? One more time. Notar is the miduim. The notar of the miduim, it says very clear. Halakha, what is the halakha? Don't eat it, burn it. If you left over any foods in one of the 7 days, you don't eat it, burn it. The question is, you don't need to say don't eat it. Because I understand that you can't eat it.
Why? Because it's burned.
Huh?
Because it's burned.
Yes, of course. So what is the word don't eat it for? Never mind. We miss you.
Do you?
Yeah? If the Torah says don't eat it, so if the Torah says burn it, that obviously means you can't eat it. So what are you reading for don't eat it? This word don't eat it, the Torah is not adding it for nothing. It's going to go somewhere else. Where's it going to go at? All the other surim of the Torah, where it says don't eat. Okay, but all the other things says don't eat. Obviously I can't eat it, says don't eat. Pesach says don't eat. So what am I going to use the don't eat of the notar to go on the don't eat of Pesach? If it's not eat for don't eat, it means don't benefit. But if it means don't benefit, so don't benefit the way it's written in notar. Burn it. No. The pasuk says that we burn notar and we don't burn the other things. That's why there's an extra word in the pasuk that says anot et hanotar ba'esh tisaref. Let's read pasuk that together again. Bashal. If you leave over meat, so I know it's notar. Ad haboker, ושרפת את הנותר באש. ושרפת הנותר באש. Why do you need to add the second v'notar? It's already clear that we're talking about notar. So the notar be'esh is saying you will only burn notar. You guys so far so good? So we thought to learn from chatat. So we can't learn from that. Why can't we learn from chatat? Because the chatat is telling us, b'kodesh tisaref, is telling you that you're allowed to burn it in the Beit HaMikdash. So we're going to go to notar. We're going to learn from notar. But the Gemara says, no, we can't learn from notar. V'lo yachel. So the Rebbe tells back to the Talmud, no. V'lo yachel le'ach yudeata. Haimi b'yilik yed Rabbi Elazar. Damar Rabbi Elazar. Lo yachel ki kodeshu. Kod shebekodesh pasul. It's coming to tell you a lo ta'aseh. I'll explain to you. You told me that we need the word in notar lo yachel. Yes? Obviously you can't eat it if you're going to burn it. Don't eat it. Of course I can't eat it. Yeah, you're right. But if I would tell you that miduim, so you're in the Beit HaMikdash, you left it over one extra day, burn it, no problem. Lo yachen. Obviously, I'm burning it. My question is, if the Torah says just burn it, and it doesn't say lo yachen, and you eat it, what happens? Are you punished? Did you do an avera? You didn't do an avera.
And you eat it before you burn it.
Yeah. So imagine you eat it before you burn it. The question is, did you do an avera? You didn't. No, it's not written in any avera. I gotta burn it, but there's no avera if I ate it. So Yechami the lo yached is coming to say there's a lo taseh. So the lo yached is used to tell you that there's a lo taseh. Verstehst?
We could use the Tochlu also, no?
Where?
The Tochlu.
Where? That's exactly what we're doing. There's only lo yached. There's only one pasuk. Let's read it again. V'im yibater mibasar miluim min alechem ad habokir v'sarafta et hanotar ba'esh lo yached. You know your yached, it's a lo taseh. So you need that lo yached. So we're throwing you out of the water. This is not. It's not right. Wrong. בא כתוב ליתן לו תעשה עד אכילתו. אמר אביי לעולם מקרא כמה. So Abai says, okay, I'm going to explain you what's happening. This Talmud is mixing things up. Everything runs, it's a combination of both psukim. Everything was from the Chatat, so we're going back to the Chatat. The Puch. And what do we say in the Chatat? The Chatat says, don't forget what the Chatat says. The Chatat says, burn it, don't eat it. Bakodesh tisaref. Okay? Why does it say don't eat it in the Chatat?
Same reason.
The don't eat in the Chatat, no. Because the lo ta'aseh, the notar also goes on the Chatat. The lo ta'achel of the notar goes on the Chatat. So the lo ta'achel of the notar, we thought like this. Moshe Rabbeinu says burn it. You guys, are you with me, Chaim? Moshe Rabbeinu says burn the Chatat if he messed it up. Then again we have another pasuk, don't eat it, burn it. So we said, okay, what is that needed for? It's not eaten, don't eat it for itself. So it must be for all the Yadusrim. Okay, then we need to burn it. No, but Kodesh Tisaref. No, but Kodesh Tisaref is telling you that it's you burn it in the Beit Mikdash. Okay, so we're not learning from the Kodesh. We're learning the Lo Ta'achel. Let's read it together. V'ipuch, v'lichto be'esh tisaref, v'lo ba'yeh lo tocham. So really, we're going back to the Korban Chatat. The Chatat, it should just say burn it. Why does it need to say lo ta'achel? Ma tomar lo ta'achel? Imenu na negufo, v'nafkim min Rabbi Elazar. You don't need to write lo ta'achel in the Chatat. So like this, Moshe Rabbeinu says burn the Chatat. We have another pasuk that says don't eat and burn the Chatat. You don't need to write that don't eat. Why not? It's a lo taseh. It's a lo taseh. You don't need that lo taseh. Because it's learned from Rabbi Elazar. When Rabbi Elazar says don't eat the notar, so notar, what do we have? Aracha? We have the aracha. Don't eat it, burn it. Why don't eat it? Lo taseh. Burn it for itself. Okay, and what about the chatat? Lo tochal. Lo tochal, you don't need it because you already know that you can't eat it because of the notar. If you can't eat the notar, you can eat the chatat, which is burnt up. So if it's not eaten for itself, and if the Yadu like we said before, if it's not needed for not eating because it's already within it itself, that don't eat it, so therefore it means don't benefit. Okay, so you want to tell me that the chatat also needs to be burnt, so everything else needs to be burnt? No, now we have the notar that needs to be burnt and nothing else needs to be burnt. We have two psukim. One pasuk is chatat, one pasuk is notar. In chatat, it's written, don't eat it, burn it. And it's written, bakodesh tisaref. What do we do with that? You don't need to say don't burn it. Because Moshe Rabbeinu said don't burn it. The lo tochal, you don't need to say. And we don't need to learn lo taseh over here. Because we're already going to learn from somewhere else lo taseh. The bakodesh tisaref, they tell you you're allowed to burn it in the Beit Mikdash. Notar, it's written, don't eat it, burn it. Why are you writing don't eat it? Lo taseh. But that lo taseh is also going over here. And burn it, ba'esh tisaref, notar. Only notan's burnt and all these are not burnt. The Gemara says, Amar Abaye, Rapav Abaye, ve'ema liyachudeh legufe hudeata. Di'imid Rabbi Elazar, enokin anav shebeklaniyut. Okay, so now we have a problem. It's true Rabbi Elazar said in notar, there's a lo taseh. So from here we're going to learn there's a lo taseh also in the chatat. Yes, God?
Yeah.
The problem is, yes, it could be a lo taseh, but for the punishment of makot, we don't learn it from general rules. In other words, there is a lo taseh of, yes, you can have a lo taseh, and then there's a punishment on the lo taseh. So you didn't have avera, but the debating allowed to give lashes. That you need your own lo taseh. If I have a lo taseh, general lo taseh from notar, which I will know there's a lo taseh of the chatat, it doesn't teach me on the chatat I can have makot. So tell me that I need the lo taseh of the makot, of the chatat, to tell you to get a makot on it. John, when are we going to get you? Soon. It's coming. And Amara Papa. So, the Lo Tasef Dechatat is actually coming to tell you that maybe it's coming to give its own set of makot over here. So now we're in big trouble. We don't have the extra Lo Tochal to go onto the Chametz and onto the Basar of the Shoran Iskar to tell you Hana'ah. And Amara Papa, V'abasar asher yiga b'kol tameh lo yachel. So Rav Papa is going somewhere else. Where is he going? We're talking about a kodshin that became tameh. If you have an animal with a big dash, it's a korban, and some animal came and touched it. V'abasar asher yiga b'kol tameh lo yachel ba'esh yisaref. Shen tamun umar lo yachel, matumuna lo yachel. Menunan gufo da'nafkan mikar b'chomer. Okay, so now you have a kochim that became tameh. Are you allowed to eat the kochim that became tameh? Kochim is a high level. Kochim can only be eaten in the mikdash. Kochim is holy, okay? And it becomes tameh, it becomes tameh. It says, lo yachel ba'esh tisaref. Why are you saying lo yachel? Why is it saying lo yachel? Forget, we already know this from a kal b'chomer. What is the kal b'chomer? And we can actually see it's a hekesh. We learn it, im enu nyanu gufo, nafka mikal b'chomer maser. There's Ma'aser Sheni. When you live anywhere in Eretz Yisrael, you have to bring Ma'aser Sheni. Ma'aser Sheni, we said it many times, is when you have a farm, you give 2% to the Kohen, you give 10% to the Levi, and then that's called Ma'aser, and then Ma'aser Sheni is 10% yourself. It's a savings fund, John, for Yerushalayim. You got to go 3 times a year. What am I going to eat there? It's a lot of money. We force you to put 10% aside. People come to Uman last minute, I don't have money. Habibi, you know you're going. Put aside every month to go to Uman. I have to go to Chops and I have to go to here and I have to go to here and Uman, can you give me a donation? You know you're coming to Uman. Put aside a 10%. The rest of us used to do that. The rest of you used to have a saving account the whole year for Uman. They used to have it. So if Maser, so that's Maser Sheni. And Maser Sheni is on a lesser level of holiness than, for example, Maser Sheni you can eat anywhere in Jerusalem. You don't have to eat in the Beit HaMikdash. It's not Kodshim. It's not Kodshim. And Maser Sheni, Uma Maser Sheni Akaram Ratore Lo Bi'arti Mimenu B'Tameh. I did not eat it, get rid of it in state of Tumah. You can't eat Maser Sheni when it's Tameh or you're Tameh. Basar Kodesh Kam B'Chomer. Basar Kodesh Hamur Lo Kol Sheken. The Kodshim is even more Hamur. So for sure, Maser Sheni you can't eat B'Tumah, you can't eat Kodesh B'Tumah. So since the Lo Yached is not needed because there's a Kal B'Chomer, so that Lo Yached is going to go where? It's going to go in Chametz Pesach. But the Gemara says, V'kitei mazirin minadin. Oh, we don't say a Lo Taseh from a Kal B'Chomer. Kal B'Chomer is, by the way, this Kal B'Chomer is like, we just see that it makes sense. Okay, but you can't give a Lo Taseh from a Kal B'Chomer. So the actual Gemara says, Hekeshahu. It's not even a Kal B'Chomer. It's more than a Kal B'Chomer. Kal B'Chomer means we have logical deduction to say why this would make sense. That doesn't work always. If you don't have a Kabbalah from Moshe Sinai, even though it does make sense. So really it's a Hekesh. Hekesh is when the Psukim are intertwined in Pasuk. Meaning, we have Pasuk 8 speaks about Kodesh. You have Pasuk Bet, it speaks about Maser Sheni. If we have Pasuk Gimel, which intertwines and brings both of them in the same Pasuk, Kodesh and Maser Sheni, so that's going to mean that there's a Hekesh between the halachot they apply here will apply here. And where do we see that? Do not eat in your own city. Maser deganecha, tiroshecha, bitzarecha, ubechorot bekarecha. So you have over here things that you can't eat. Wait, you live in Haifa. You live in. Where are you going to live in Eretz Yisrael, Chaim? Where are you going to move? Yerushalayim. Now you know that Yerushalayim is not really Yerushalayim. Halachic Yerushalayim. Hanof is not Yerushalayim. Beit Dagan is not Yerushalayim. The real Yerushalayim is Me'asharim, till the Kotel. That's the Yerushalayim Shepah. So let's say you're living in Arnof. You can't eat your Maser Sheni in Arnof. You got to eat it in Me'asharim. Lo tuchal b'sharecha Maser deganecha. So the grains, tiroshecha. What's tirosh? It's wine. Bitzarecha, it's oils. Ubechorot bekarecha, and bechor. Bechor is kodesh. Bechor is already a korban.
Firstborn of the cattle.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. Look at the whole pasuk. לא תוכל לאכול בשערי מעשרת דגני עבדי ראשה בצריך בכורות בקריך צונך בכל נדריך. All the korbanot that you offered, shlamim and all those things. So you see there's a hekesh. There's a connection in pasuk between a korban and Maser Sheni. So if Maser Sheni, you can't eat Betuma, you can't eat a korban Betuma. If you can't eat korban Betuma, what is the pasuk Lo Tochal if it's Tameh? Imenu inyan gufot and inyan kolisun shabatoira. Imenu inyan nachidat and inyan hana. And if it's not needed for hana, so it's going to be needed for. If it's not needed for achidah, it's going to be needed for hana. Imakan besreifa, if conditions to the besreifa, the kodesh, you got to burn it. Amakra notar anotar. Notar besreifa again kolisun shabator besreifa. Only notar is burnt. Not everything else is burnt. Let's just repeat what we just did. We tried to bring 3 psukim. 1 pasuk of Chatat, 1 pasuk of Notar, and 1 pasuk of Kodshim, which became Tameh. So the Kodesh says burn, don't eat. The burn it is bottom line. But Kodesh Tisaref is coming to tell you you're allowed to burn it in the Beit HaMikdash. The Lo Tochal is coming to say that you get makot for it. It's a Lo Tasen, you get makot. You get makot if you eat the chatat, that's possible. So we have nothing to learn over there. Notar. And there it says, Bakodesh Tisaref, it's teaching that you're allowed to burn it in the Beit HaMikdash. Notar, Lo Tochal, Besh Tisaref. Lo Tochal is to give a Lo Taseh. The notar, you can't, the notar, don't leave it over. If you learn it, you got to burn it. And if you got to burn it, that's why you're writing don't eat it, to give a lo taseh with its own set of makot. But the extra notar b'esh tisaref is coming to teach you only notar needs to be burnt and anything like notar. All korbanos need to be burnt. Other isurim don't need to be burnt. That's what we finished. We still don't know an extra lo tochal to teach us that anytime it's written lo tochal in Torah that it's also ana. So that's going to be from kodesh that became tameh. The guy touches a korban. He's tameh. He made it tameh. Then animal touched it. It's tameh. You're allowed to eat it? Can't eat it. Lo tochal. Of course I can eat it. If maser sheni I can't eat, so kol sheken this I can eat. That's a kal v'chom. We don't learn for kal v'chom. It's a hekesh. There's a pasuk that brings korbanos and maser sheni together. So all the halachot that exist in maser sheni exist in korbanos. And if maser sheni you can eat, for sure if it's tamis, or for sure korbanos you can eat if it's tameh. So the lo tachel of the korbanot we just learned. What is it used for? It's used. That's coming to teach us that it's needed for chametz and shoran niskal. And what about maybe you have to burn it the same way? The same way you have to burn this korban which is tameh. You got to burn also chametz and shoran niskal. No, notar. The notar was left over. Only notar needs to burn. There's an extra limit of notar needs to burn, nothing else. But the Gemara just says. Just finish this quickly. Okay, 1 second. So yes, we don't need it. It's self-understood. But maybe you get 2 avirot. Did you know that sometimes you get 2 avirot for one isser? For example, the Torah is going to say 4 times
Eating bugs. No?
for eating bugs. Huh?
Eating bugs.
Yes.
It's 7 avirot.
You know why? Look, it's right here. Amar Abaye, achad putya. If you eat a bug that is a creepy crawler on the ground in the water, loke alba, you get 4 avirot. Nimela loke chamesh. If you ate an ant, you get 5 hits. Tsira, a flying fly, you get 6. You know why? Because the Torah adds the thing. Lo tochal, sheketzu. It keeps saying the isurim. So there's 4 which apply to all of them, and there's 5 for a crawling one, and 6 for a 5 for a crawling one, and 6 for a flying one. So on one avira, you get 6 things, because we keep adding the lo tasen. So don't tell me the lo tachen is going to chametz and the shoran niskal. Tell me the lo taseh is giving an extra avira that if you ate the korban, you get 2 avirot. If you ate maser, you get 1 avira. If you ate korban that is tameh, you get 2 avirot. The Gemara says, Amar kol echad yikar midrash darshinan. So the rule is like this, and this is by the way from the Gemara Bichovot Ayin Vav. Whenever we can say a drash, we will say the drash. If we can use it for somewhere else, and we will say a drash, we will, and we will not add isurim. When we've exhausted all the drashot and there's nothing else to learn out, then we will add lo taseh on it if the Torah. But if it's used for something else that we just did now, so we will in fact use it for somewhere else. We got through Chazak Baruch. Hard?